everybody, and welcome back to the NLC. Now, I need to clarify a couple of things before we go into the next game. I was a little bit wrong. I totally forgot that Spring Split means something. So Veneer are actually clear of relegations. It's Unique and Fourth Wall who are going to be in that relegation spot. I'm old, and Spring doesn't mean anything normally.
Spring doesn't matter. That's what Double says, right?
Spring's a pointless split, right?
Yeah.
No, it is important. So that's just a quick clarification. It's Unique and Fourth Wall who'll be playing in relegation. Veneer are just clear. It's only by about 6 points, roughly. So it was close for Veneer, but they are clear. Anyway, moving on from that one, let's now have a look at our next game, which is going to be Domino versus Nord. Now, this is the game we've all been excited for today. This is the last game which actually holds any serious meaning. The fourth and final spot in the playoffs is up for grabs. Domino need to win this, and then the tiebreaker that would be following up after that to make it into the promotion, into the playoffs. That's the word I'm looking for. On the other hand, if Nord just win this, they're in. There's no tiebreakers. They've just got the head-to-head. They've got the points cleared, and they're fine.
Sorry, I was really hyped to get into it.
That's fine. That's fine. You get into
Classic.
it. You get into it.
Yeah. I was really hyped. It's gonna be a really good game. I think yesterday we saw some great things from both teams. I think Nord less so. I was actually a bit underwhelmed, but Domino, right? Domino looked really good, and they were against a top team. I think it was Natives, right, or Verdun. Either one, still really impressive team to take them to. They pushed them to the edge, right? You had Clover on his staple LeBlanc, which is what I want to see Nord ban, as well as they put up a good fight until Blink trolled. Okay, the AD carry Blink trolled by dying, getting picked just outside of a Kindredal. So if they can clean up their micro come mid-game team fights and also secure this LeBlanc, I think they've got a real good shot. Flip side, Nord, just shake off the nerves, man. Like, you saw Indecision go 40 CS, down half the CS at 10 minutes. Just shake that off, and I think they're good to go.
Yes, and the thing I want to say here for Nord is just to emphasize how much of a letdown it will be for this organization to not make playoffs. In spring, they were tied for first, right? There were two teams with a 12-2 record. Nord was one of them. And if they don't even make playoffs here in summer, that would be absolutely tragic for these guys. So honestly, a lot of pressure on Nord to win this game. And as previously mentioned, if they lose this game, they still do have a second chance because they'll have to play Domino again in a tiebreaker. But it's still a huge amount of pressure here for both these squads coming through to fight for that last playoff spot.
So let's look at the last day of games we have to kind of go off. So we look at Domino, who played versus Verdun. They did lose to Verdun, but man, that was a hype game. They really pushed, they really challenged them. So Domino don't look as bad as they do on paper. I think they actually do look like a really solid team right now. On the other hand, Nord slammed Veneer. That was a very controlled game from them. They looked really strong. So I think going into this, I think it's fair to say that Nord are the favored team. Also, if we just go off the previous game day where they've played each other, Nord have the head-to-head already, so they have already beaten them before. Obviously, different meta, different times. I think Champ Select is really going to reveal a lot. I believe Nord are on red side and Domino, are on blue side. I need to double check that one, but that's looking like what we're going to be going into on that Champ Select. So if that is the case, Nord do get those kind of 2 power picks. The question is what are they going to give over? Because we see a lot of emphasis on the rails, the LeBlancs today. LeBlanc has been basically permabanned. Jace has been super high priority this week as well. So I'm curious to see what's going to make its way through the picks and bans.
Yeah, I think you have a few staple bans that Nord have to ban. I think you've got to ban away. Olaf from Spuda. You've got to ban away Ashe. Wait, no, sorry, that's the flip side. Ashe is a very staple for Nord. But as Domino, you've got to ban the Olaf, and there's one more pick that I'm blanking out. The LeBlanc, of course, for Clover, because he's just looked like a completely other player, and it also enables them to pick away Lee LeBlanc, which they've really liked recently, especially those Lee Sin buffs. So yeah, we'll have to see what they go with. Please, Nord, have done your research. I'm absolutely begging you. Nico, the coach, tweets a lot about what he does to prepare, and that is something he says he does a lot as well. Tracking early jungle pathing, as well as a lot of draft prep. So we'll see.
Alrighty, well, let's see what the bans are going to be. Taking a bit of time here from the side of Domino as they are thinking about what they're going to be looking to ban away first. Just running it down a little bit. There's going to be the Ashe ban coming in from the side of Domino. Again, a champion who has had a lot of attention in the picks and bans this week as well. I'm expecting to see probably a rail ban, honestly, from the side of Nord. Yeah, I think you just don't want to first give that over. It's too strong at the moment. We've seen some really, really big stuff from that champion.
I wouldn't be surprised to see some like an Aphelios maybe chucked away from Nord, because I would, with the way Domino's banning right here, you could imagine a world where they put some emphasis on getting an ADC early. They ban away some of the power ADCs and then pick one for themselves. But there's still Kai'Sa's still a good option available too. We have even seen Tristana being slapped down in that bot side by Blink nonetheless. So different options to go down. But as you mentioned, you've got things like the Gragas for Spuda still open and still an option, and just some general power picks here like the Milio. I think we'll probably see something OP go through here. Maybe the Rumble. I wouldn't be surprised to see that slide through the draft. But a lot of comfort picks here that you have to give respect to does open a little bit more room for strong meta picks.
So notable individual picks that are going through. Poppy for Kachkos is one of his best picks. Olaf for Spuda. There it is. Olaf for Spuda. As well as the LeBlanc. It has to be a LeBlanc banner. I hate to tunnel on it, but it just absolutely has to. Another factor to consider in this draft is that lots of AD carries are pinched, right? So Kai'Sa Tristana might be the handshake here for the AD carry pool. There it is. Good job, Nord. I'm a big fan. Let's see how Domino look without a LeBlanc and that permanent side lane pressure, because Clover is a demon on that champion.
Yeah, I think that was a really big ban away from him. He was the primary reason Verdant looked challenged yesterday versus them. I think it's a perfectly good ban on that front. Now let's see what the picks are going to be. First pick, looking to be that Kai'Sa. Seen a lot of champions, but a lot of people just put priority on her recently. Very strong, also flexible. Like Aragon said, definitely a higher win rate as an AD carry, more than a mid laner, but still a very viable pick and a flexible pick. So not really showing that hand with that first pick. Over to Nord, things like that Rumble are open. Yeah, you haven't got it paired up with a Rel, but it's still very strong. We've seen the power of the Rumble and just being able to control teamfight spaces effectively. Could be a big pickup here. The Zaya's banned, but the Rakan is still up and open though, if Nord want to take that.
Yeah, and Rakan is Seneca's most played champion this split by far, so not too surprising to see that one put down, especially just the playmaking that a champion like Rakan gives you. It's such a strong pick. Even if you are blind picking it, it's really nice to do, but it does mean on the other side you've got Kai'Sa, which you can just easily pair with something like Nautilus, which is a great matchup, a great 2v2, and a good matchup into Rakan. So could be a little bit spooky there for Nord here with that early Rakan pick, but they are able to set it down for Seneca. And of course, Indecision now going to get that. Maokai does like playing these style of champions. Lots of CC already here for Nord.
Sejuani and Ivan are your next tier of junglers. In fact, Ivan and Sejuani you consider are also equally good. They managed to secure both premier AD carries in the Tristana Kai'Sa, which is a little bit scary. And if they lock Ivan here or Sejuani, either one don't really have any losing 2v2 matchups. You see this a lot. You really don't have any losing 2v2 matchups with either of these picks. It depends what Paris wants to play though. I'm not sure of his pool because he's a relatively new addition to this team. Does look like they think they have enough choices with jungle. They feel like they can reach down in their pockets to pick anything, even if the jungle pool gets pinched, and they're going to pick away this flex of a Nautilus. We haven't seen a Nautilus be flexed to the jungle yet, although it is possible. So we'll have to see if it is, but it's probably just going to be support into the Rakan so that support does not get pinched.
Alrighty, well, final pick is looking to be hovered here. I'm not really overly surprised. Sorry, it was the Jace. I'm not overly surprised by that one. Moving out over to the side of Nord, going into that ban phase. What are they going to look to ban, actually? That's the real question.
I think Ivan's a solid ban, honestly. When we've seen Ivan in like there's Olaf for Spuda as well. When we've seen Ivan in the higher tier leagues, like LEC for example, actually with G2, it's always paired with an ADC in mid. I think Lucian was one, and I believe Kai'Sa was the other one as well. So I think it's a solid game to go for that Ivan if you want to. And it's a very strong pick. The thing with Ivan is it's just such a unique champion. Do a lot of these junglers have it in their champion pool? It's not like a common pick that people just randomly play. So I'm not sure whether Parrish will be able to fall back on it. As you mentioned, he is a new addition to this team, so not too much information on his champion pool.
So I think Sejuani is going to be the pick for Domino here. It pairs off well with that Nautilus, provides some more frontline for the front-to-back composition they're drafting. And I thought potentially they could ban out Ivan Sejuani. Instead, they value banning out and pinching Spuda on his pool. I actually thought they were lining up for a blind pick tank like Ornn for the side of Nord, because typically when you get this kind of poke composition with the Maokai likes having another frontliner. Otherwise, he kind of just gets like engaged on and blown up. But another frontline to facilitate the poke works really well. More AD carries pinch like the Varus, which synergizes really well as a lethality champion or an AP champion with that poke from the Varus, the Jace Maokai combination. Is a really good pinch too. What do they blind though? Right, so I think you're probably going to you could keep, right? So here's the problem, right? You could keep Jace as a flex still, and that's what they're going to opt to do, right? So they're not going to pick away Jace. They're just going to pick Zeri. They've really reached down for this AD carry pick. Lots banned.
Yeah, well, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute since we've seen that Zeri, but now moving over towards the side of Domino, looking to pick up their jungler and their top laner. I mean, unless this somehow ends up being like a Nautilus jungle, which was mentioned yesterday, but I very much doubt that is going to be the case, especially when you have a Kai'Sa in that bot lane. Just looking towards something that is a traditional counter to that Zeri.
Yeah.
You pick up the Vi, something that used to get picked up into that Zeri back when she was just the most annoying champion in the game. Now looking towards that top laner, something that can kind of sit quite comfortably up on this top side. Obviously, Spuda had his pool somewhat alleviated, but let's see what they're going to go for. Running this timer down, Domino really thinking through every decision they make during this pick and ban. They've really kind of elongated it out when they decide on their plan. Switching out last second to the Cassante here, and now it's over to Nord to pick up something that can handle that in the top side.
Yes, Catch Cross. What has he got in his pool here? I think some kind of engage would be good. Maybe something to follow up alongside the Maokai. Wouldn't, maybe like the Kennen or something would be good. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about the Malphite as well. Does similar things too. We've seen Malphite. Like, you're against double ADC. Obviously, Kai'Sa's going to be going into some pretty heavy AP damage as well. But not a bad choice here, and it's just very simple. It's very simple lockdown with Vi, with Nautilus. You just press your ultimates, and you can get onto any one of those otherwise slippery targets. I think it will be quite difficult for Hiddo to play this game. Those are some very difficult ultis to navigate your way around.
Yeah, they really are. They really are. But he also has a very strong kind of engaged front line. The problem is Blink can just jump straight onto the back line if Perez goes in on him. So there are ways to kind of just immediately blow up Hiddo. So it's really going to be down to how Nord can handle these fights. And obviously on champions that are fairly nerfed across the board. Obviously Vi had some changes. Zeri, just not that S tier champion, but she was pretty much since launch. Which I'm personally very happy for. I'm unbelievably bored of seeing Zeri. But Nord, they had to go to the bottom of the barrel. A lot of AD carries banned this game. Going to be picking that one up.
Yeah, so I do wonder if this is going to be AP Zeri. We've seen it a little bit, I think, in the LEC, and it's just a decent option. Something to note is how these team fights interact, right? Both of these teams. What we have on the side of Nord here is a very kite back and poke composition with that Jace Maokai combination, and you kite backwards with Zeri, as well as you have loads of peel, right? Which is why Malphite kind of is a bit of an odd one out, but he functions on, like, I guess, the turn of a fight, where you ult the AD carries afterwards. And on the flip side, you have Nord's composition, which is super dive heavy. It's all on them to vi-ult the Zeri and everyone follow up and dive in. You have Tristana leaping in, you have Kai'Sa using hard to get in, and Nautilus ulting the same person as well. So how well does Hiddo play these fights? He is the kill leader in the entire league. Let's see how he does it.
It's really going to come down to this. This is the important game. Remember to just reiterate the stakes. If Nord win this, they are guaranteed a spot in those playoffs. If Domino win this, they'll force a tiebreaker will be played on Friday between the two teams to decide who will be making it to playoffs. So if Domino win, they've still got to win another game after this to guarantee that spot. But Nord, honestly, that win over Veneer yesterday did them a lot of favors. Meanwhile, for the side of Domino, they have had a harder runner schedule. They've had to play versus both Verdant, and now they've got to play versus Nord in their final week. So definitely has kind of bit them on the tail end of the season, but that does mean other weeks have had those easier runner schedules where they've not performed maybe as well as they need. So it is interesting to look at it on that way, but you kind of have to also realize all of these teams have played each other the exact same amount of times. And at the moment, Nord do have the advantage over Domino. But Domino, we'll see if they've got enough in the tank. They've cooked together quite a nice team. I'm really excited for this one. Honestly, Domino gave us a banger game versus Verdant yesterday. Nord gave us a good game, but it was a very controlled game versus Veneer yesterday. I'm interested to see what version of these teams show up today.
The cool thing from Domino's perspective is their fate's in their hands. They don't have to worry about anyone else and how they perform. They just have to beat Nord twice. Like, it all comes down to them and how they perform in these games. And the thing that I've really got my eyes on here, just to start things off with, is the Kai'Sa and Tristana. The fact that Kai'Sa's gone bot instead of mid, and obviously Tristana's gone mid instead of bot. Like, when we look at who's piloted these champions in the past, it's been Blink on that Tristana. He hasn't played Kai'Sa yet, but I do think, especially from what we've seen from Clover yesterday, you know, he excelled in that split push strategy, right? And Tristana is great at doing that, being able to take down those turrets with her E. So I think, you know, we could maybe see something similar, not quite to the same degree as what LeBlanc was able to do, but still able to siege down those turrets and play in a side lane.
Yeah, I think something to highlight here regarding composition as well, to continue your point. The only AP threat is an AD carry in Blink with that Kai'Sa playing AP. So if they manage to somehow maybe poke her down, eliminate her from the fight as a threat, you know, it's a Malphite versus full AD, right? So I think that's the way that Nord want to play this. Maybe avoid Kai'Sa in some way, poke her out, chunk her out with that Maokai Jace combination. And eventually play the fight out versus the full AD composition of, you know, it's such a heavy AD topside. Catchcost must be absolutely smiling to himself, and there's probably a big reason why they picked the pick. But yeah, Blink is the target here for the side of North.
Well, game started in pretty standard style. No invades, no early shenanigans. Both junglers are clearing downwards. Snabby getting heavily chunked out, though, at the beginning of the game. Lovely jump forward there by Seneca. Just a massive chunk onto Snabby, who's going to have to be forced to use all of his pots, really, to heal back up. And not going to be happy off the back of that one.
Level 2's OP. You reach that first, you go for the aggressive trade. You've got double the abilities of your opponents, all their extra stats as well. And leveraging that to get a nice trade. Take about 60% of Snabby's health. Very good start here for the Nord bot side. Take a look at what the junglers are doing as well. Full top side clear from Parish. Now going down to the bot side instead. Now these Vi ganks pre-6 are really nothing to write home about, but if you do have some lane setup, you know, some CC to get it started, then Vi still can do something. She's not completely woeful in these plays, but I don't imagine she'll put too much focus on making anything happen here. On the other hand, of course, the Maokai, very good at setting up ganks, doesn't need too much help, so see if he maybe looks towards something even in like mid if Clover's looking a little bit overextended.
That's probably why he's trading so hard down bot side, right? Seneca's trading so hard down bot side to hopefully force, you know, a summoner spell, you know, or, you know, a HP disadvantage, something like this potentially on this bounce back to force out a gank. Don't think it's going to happen. That's probably the intention in the first place. But yeah, no, you're completely right. Perez is probably just power farming to level 6 on Vi. You can go for maybe one gank or something like this pre 6, but you really want to farm up to 6 and then become online. Something to note for all the viewers who don't keep up with every single patch notes, because who realistically does outside of people with no lives, Vi has a 20-second cooldown increase on the ultimate, which is why she's dropped down in priority in every single league. But she does still kind of do the same thing, right? She just has less windows, which in turn means your team has less windows, which is probably contributing to why her win rate has dropped substantially in competitive. I believe it's like 40% now, when it used to be something like 60% as a blind pick. Still, we'll have to see how useful it is. Perez can pull it off using those windows. He does have ultimate. Clears the top side, but there's nothing there unless...
I'm going to jump forward, and they hit onto Kakos, able to get it. Paris comes forward with the Q. Kakos going a little bit low. Tower shot starting to stack up, though, and that might just have to be them running away. They are going to look to try and turn around. The decision's in the area. They jump forward with the flash. Are they going to be able to keep the pressure up? Spuda gets knocked back. He has that pullback as well available to him. Paris trying to get some damage in. The shield's on, but Kakos keeps the pressure up. There's the flash forward. There's the first blood over to Kakos in the top lane.
Very good stuff. They're perfect things for Nord. Don't really think they have to worry too much about giving kills to Malphite, but maybe Clover in the mid lane. That's a tower shot.
Takes that tower shot. That was a little bit questionable. Omen flashes forward and finds himself a solo kill.
That means a bit more. Getting a kill onto a Jace. That's quite... Oh my god, it's fighting everywhere.
It's fighting all across the map, and it all starts with that top lane play where Spuda actually falls. Spuda, I think he was super low, but he had a cookie and was depending on that cookie to have enough mana to make plays, but in the end, he just has nothing. Indecision comes in, swoops in, and manages to pick them off using Catchcost's lead individually, and then there's a play mid lane, and then bot lane, so action all over the map, just like you said. Let's see how they take this further. I imagine it's going to quiet down outside of... Sorry, for the side of Domino, it will quiet down, but for Nord, Indecision is always active on the map, this player. He always likes to look for stuff. You saw it yesterday with the Rel. Now, typically it is a different look though. Usually they do tend to play only around bot side with Hiddo on slow stacking waves, but with that Zeri and the Rakan, I guess you just don't get that option, and he's just going to look to play elsewhere.
Well, looks like Spuda actually pops that ultimate, immediately wants to jump onto Kakos. Kakos needs to be careful, dodging away on that Q, able to survive as Kakos should be a-okay, closing in on 6 himself. Spuda now ultless. Should be a little bit of an easier target to find. Snubby coming in with a Hex Flash. Nope, don't worry. Was on a ward, to be fair, so it's just going to take that one down and decides not going to push any further. Actually, he wasn't on a ward, he was on a pink ward, so he was safe.
I think this is the power of the Vi, though. Very threatening for taking early objectives. That W giving you percentage health damage every 3rd hit. So good against targets with a butt ton of health, like Dragon. Always in solo queue, you see Vi sneaking away Dragon at ridiculously early levels. So, Norda respecting that, knowing that could possibly be on the cards, and just posturing around this Dragon instead to get some vision and make sure that Paris isn't up to anything too cheeky.
Nothing too cheeky indeed, but it is a pre-6 Vi. I wouldn't be surprised to see him just opt towards clearing his camps, right? He wants to be level 6 for that Rift Herald at the minimum, so contesting a fight here might not be the highest win rate play. Imagine Paris is just going to take out these mini Krogs and then not contest, although I'm ready to be proven wrong. No.
It looks like the reset's coming in. They are not contesting.
Yeah. There's no way, there's no way. It's too important to secure your ultimate, right? Not called Assault and Battery, that changed. I can't remember what the name is now. But it's just too OP.
Wait,
Yeah, the name change. You're so old, Foxdrop. You're so old.
I am. You mean it's not Finalis Funkin anymore?
I still get Twitch ults modeled up. I can't remember which one we're on.
Spray and Pray or Contaminate?
No, it was Ratatat.
Ratatata. What a horrendous name.
No, that's such a good name.
One.
No, that was such an amazing name. You're just completely wrong, Aragon. Like your MVP votes.
I'm getting bullied by the oldies.
Objective. Literally. You can't zoom your way out of this one.
Oh, you can zoom your way out of that one.
Set up perfectly.
Yeah. No ultimate for Rift Herald now. But also no Malphite ultimate for Rift Herald. That is a long cooldown for the Vi. Maybe they opt to not actually go for this anymore, because that is a lot of your power budget. Spooder's just going to crash this wave, and Vi is probably just going to full clear down to bot side. Neither support has moved up, but if they do decide to move up for this Rift Herald, Snabby does have first move.
Cease and desist.
Actually, looks like Norda just quite happily playing for these neutral objectives. Just checking out on the Rift Herald, making sure it's not happening. They know that Paris doesn't have the ultimate, so they're feeling very comfortable to go for it. Bot lanes are roaming up. Kakos, remember, still doesn't have his ultimate. Spuda heavily chunked, though. This could be a little bit of a messy one, as Paris will be coming in on that contest. As it's just that both of the bot lanes have crashed up into that mid lane, and this is getting a little bit scary. Indecision throws the ultimate down. They're going for the turnaround. Instantly find himself an opening and an opportunity. Hiddo pops ultimate. Secures himself the kill. Domino on the run. As Nord get a kill, they'll get that Herald too.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? This is why I expected them to actually not contest this, because they have a pre-6 Nautilus. They have no ultimate on Vi. You have no lockdown, so even if you manage to not get picked there, you have no way of getting onto Hiddo. And realistically, he could run away with the fight with his ultimate, having no threats. Snabby gets picked off. They're trying to shift upwards to topside. Doesn't stay in mid lane trying to soak 6 like you normally do on the support role. I guess he felt pressured, right? Rift Herald had been started up by Nord, and in the end, Nord managed to secure it.
Yeah, well, 10 minutes on the clock almost coming up. Just having a quick look at the old inventories. Everybody starting to get those items online. Static Shiv has been finished up for Hiddo at this point, though, so it's going to be a wave clear nuisance now at this point. Basically one-shot in those waves. Yeah, not quite pre-nerfs where you
literally
you one-shot the back wave immediately.
I think the biggest benefit of being able to push these waves as fast as you can now with this Static Shiv is not even strictly for Hiddo, it's to unlock Seneca on this Rakan. You know, if you don't have to play bot side as much because you just neutralized all the interactivity by perma pushing the minion waves in. And Rakan can move around and do whatever he wants. He's doing it already. You see, like, Hiddo's pushed into the tower and Seneca just goes on a little bit of a roam around, see what he can do, sniffing about the rest of the map. Maybe controlling some vision, and testing some of that, sweeping something, maybe getting a play. But Hiddo now, you know, just being able to push like that, it's so good for these playmaking supports. just getting out on the map and doing their bits. And Hilo should be relatively safe as well. Like it's difficult to dive and to punish. Oh, that's a flash.
Yeah, they just jumped straight in. That's Snabby in danger. They are going to bring in Perez, but he's too slow to the play. That is a kill onto the support and a kill onto Nord. Their 4th of the game. They have just got complete control of this game. They really want to make it to playoffs.
Yeah, Snabby, he's so squishy, right? He's not tanky. He's a support Nautilus. Nautilus hates being on the front lines like this, despite being, considered a tank. He's actually fairly squishy in the support position. Man, he just keeps getting picked like this. I wonder what he's going to do to recover, because he needs levels, right? He needs to catch back up, and so he can be a reasonable threat to Hiddo in later team fights. Still, Blink, and that's not only him, right? Blink, Clover are also really far behind. Not on that static shift quite yet, or that Kraken Slayer.
Ooh, yeah, it is looking tough here for Domino. At least at this point in the game, the second Dragon, you have to feel like is probably going to go in Nord's favor. Nord has just got this reset here, so they'll be able to, get back, get shopping, come back onto the map with their vision, control the river area, so that Domino will have to face check into that fog of war. And Domino don't have their resets yet, so if they do go for the reset by the time they get back onto the map, they're not going to be around in time to contest this Dragon, most likely. But of course, if they don't reset, then they don't have any gold or any items, excuse me. So that's not a good thing either. We'll see how this one plays out. They might maybe just have enough time, especially if they get a pick on a Seneca, almost face checking into his doom there.
So in this upcoming Dragon, they are behind, but they are in comparable items. Okay, so the kill lead is kind of fake, because they both do have 1 items and a little bit on both the carries. That's a lot of damage with the static shift. Another plate going over to Hiddo. But this Dragon might be contested. Vi does have ultimate. So does everyone else. Snabby will have ult for the potential fight. I would like to see it contested from Domino.
Yeah, well, Hiddo almost getting himself in a little bit of danger. Both the Vi and the Nautilus, just those point-and-click ultimates will follow you down, but is able to stay A-okay. Blink now has his static shift, so the wave clear is matched between the pair of them. So these waves aren't just going to get free shoved, and Seneca can just move for free anymore. But Nord still have the inside track on the river, as Hiddo just going to surf over the wall back towards that Dragon. And Nord, they're feeling comfortable to start this one up. They've got the pressure, they've got the power. Kakos and Spuda both have their teleports, though, so if they want to fight for it, they can. You're moving through those saplings, and this is what we were saying in the previous game. It's so hard to contest into the river. If the Maokai team have first move, they're actually going to throw down the Twisted Advance, thinking they're in the bush, but they got the wrong one. Hiddo is just going to get chain CC'd, tries to jump the wall. The shutdown is given over to Snabby, though, as Omen now joins into the fight. The flash forward to Paris, able to finish him up. Seneca's going low. Clover's able to find himself the kill. He's got the resets, he's got the bounces, he's got the jump in. In comes Kakos, too slow to the plunge, finds himself the knock up onto 2. Indecision's in danger, but Kakos is doing some serious damage to Blink. Spooder's now joining in. Indecision being run down. Clover just running away with this fight, but in comes Kakos. He's getting himself taken down. Spooder will bop him back, and Domino find the team fight victory.
And what a beautiful bit of macro from the side of Domino here. They waited for that play for so long, knowing that after the Dragon, after Nord did Dragon, they would come down bot side and place that Herald. They camped that bush. You could see Perez was in the alcove the entire time, and then when Nord come down to place that Rift Herald to secure the rest of the plates, they pull the trigger. They managed to tag. I believe they tagged Indecision, and then both of them ulted Hiddo there. And this is exactly what we want to highlight. How well do they chain CC? How well do they stop Hiddo auto-attacking? He tries to flash away, and he doesn't work. And in the end, Clover managed to buffer the Malphite ultimate, and it's just all great for Nord. Sorry, for Domino, rather.
It's tough as well for Nord there. When you lose your ADC straight away, it's always going to be a tough play. Cash Cross didn't get in really until too late, but they were able at least to pick up the Dragon before any of that happened. So on good pace here to try and maybe get this Dragon sold, if they obviously want to or are able to keep taking these Dragons in a mountain. So it's still very, very powerful, especially when you've got a Malphite on your team. You've got Maokai as well. Like, that front line now becomes like so difficult to deal with. Already this Malphite should be quite difficult to deal with when it's only Kai'Sa on the other end with that magic damage. So it's still something there, but a great little comeback here and a team fight win for Domino in a game that was really running away from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, did get first tower as well onto Hiddo. Solo gold onto him, so a lot of gold injected into Hiddo after that fight. But you do worry. There's a 2-0 Kai'Sa now. There's a 2-1 Tristana. Clover. Really the shining light for Domino, especially in their game yesterday. And you know, their game the week before as well, where his LeBlanc performance has been really, really clean. Obviously, not on the LeBlanc this time, but still able to control a lot here. Now, Nord trying to move their way over and contest this Rift Herald. It has started up. Perez does have his ultimate. Depth charge is also up and available, so Hiddo needs to be very careful on this one. They're going to look to contest. They put the Twisted Advance down, immediately going in for the fight. There's going to be the jump onto Hiddo. Hiddo can't get over the wall. He's in danger. He's able to cross over the safety. Omen taking a little bit of damage here, but they are keeping this fight going. The Rift Herald hasn't been de-aggroed. Nord are going to carry it up, finish it up, get the double kill, and the Herald. A massive victory there for Nord.
How unplayable is this game for Hiddo? They throw everything at him. We talked about, you know, the Via ulti, the Nautilus ulti being ways to shut Zeri down.
Oh, no.
Although Blink could be in trouble, just going to flash away from that, or not even flash, or it's cleanse away from that one. But it wasn't even those two ults at the end that got Hiddo. It was the Cassante ulti. It looked like Hiddo jumped over the wall with whatever Zeri rubbish is that allows her to jump over walls. But it wasn't. She was being tossed over the wall by Spooner. And then he brings her down as well. Like, I mean, yeah, it sucks for Hiddo, but it's good for the rest of his team, right? The rest of his team was able to pick up that fight and take the Herald as well.
Yeah. So it's really good that Domino actually made that play work because, you know, it wasn't amazing. They managed to trade 1 kill, but they'd abandoned bot waves for a very long time. They were on a huge timer. I wanted to highlight this, but there was so much action. Nobody collected down bot waves. I believe they lost like 3 or 4 waves in total whilst just hovering mid in case of a potential fight and for the fight around Rift Herald. So if that hadn't gone their way, they would have lost that like, succession of waves as well as a team fight, and it probably would have been too much. It would have hit like a critical threshold, right, of just losing too much gold. Still, play goes the way of Domino, really. Although, honestly, Nord kind of came out on top there, right? They get Hiddo, but it's just, they also secure Rift Herald. So where do they place Rift Herald now? You can imagine that, unless Indecision gets picked here, he's probably going to place it mid lane in order to secure that dragon with the priority the Rift Herald gives.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the game plan. I think Nord are very, very happy with that previous play. They got 2 kills, traded for 1, and then get themselves the 2 kills in the Herald. I think they're okay off the back of that, to be honest. Does look like Nord, though, now moving over just to get some control of this topside river, while Omen, who is the carry right now for Nord, because Hiddo, while he's very strong, is getting heavily targeted, so his gold is basically useless because he's just getting jumped onto repeatedly. Hiddo just going to be on wave clear duty for a bit while Omen holding this top side. Everybody was lingering around to see if they can make a dive onto Omen, but Omen is doing a really good job of just holding the wave back and playing miles away. So while Nord get this dragon for free, Omen realistically not under any real threat, and if he is, Seneca is en route just in case there's going to be a dive onto him.
Oof, that's so point though, won't it be for Nord? That's quite scary though. Oh, it's going to be the dive.
Yeah, they're going in. He hasn't got anybody in range. The shutdown gifted over to Snubby. So honestly, best case scenario as Nord maybe keeping this pressure up. They committed a lot there. 2 ultimates, actually 3 ultimates for that kill. But it does look like the attention is actually just going towards this mid lane. While Nord stop the recalls, stop the resets coming in. Clover does find onto Seneca. Seneca can just jump over the wall. They've got Herald. They're not actually going to use it in the mid lane because Nord, they're going to go for their own return dive to try and find a turnaround.
Yeah, they got this long chase. They can chase them for a very long time. If they cancel these resets with that laser, AP Zeri manages to snipe it out. Teleport's coming through. It's turned into a bit of a fiesta, but that Herald charge is going to go through. They didn't need it to secure that dragon. Not surprised they didn't commit to it with the Malphite Recon. You just have no damage earlier than that.
Mid lane.
Mid lane and teleports bot lane. What's going on?
Oh, Blink's dead. Blink's dead. Omen able to find the shutdown, just catching
They're moving bot.
Blink alone. They are moving bot. Are they going to kill Clover? Clover should be okay.
It's the Clover split push game, isn't it? Again, we mentioned Tristana, pretty good at that with the E, just able to bring down towers quite quickly. And you know, this whole play started because he was split pushing top, and Domino wanted to play around that. But unfortunately, they did put Nord on soul point. They do need 1 more dragon now to get that mountain soul. These team fights will be very, very difficult to navigate for Domino, and it might just be enough to save Hiddo, maybe. Kind of, maybe, I don't know, that might be asking a lot. But either way, Domino are going to have to then dedicate even more, you would imagine, to the split push if they do lose that soul, because that just makes teamfights so difficult.
Yep. Both teams coming on the map now. Both teams taking control of that river topside. You know, just in case of that Baron star, I imagine Nord are very scared of Domino rushing down that Baron because they do have double AD carry, and that Baron just dissolves, right? Really, really, really damn quickly. Still, like you said, the main focus is going to be that dragon, because I imagine Nord are very conscious, cognizant of that Baron threat. Hido scouting out Wraith Camp. Nothing too much there. You could see Indecision is postured in that river bush just in case. Those saplings are going to make it really hard to regain this vision control from the side of Domino.
Something as well that needs to be
Indecision
mentioned is oh no, yeah, Indecision's in trouble.
Able to buy himself some time with that twisted advance. I don't think they can really do much more now. Omen lands that shot blast, chunking Perez down, but they're going to throw everything down onto him. The whole team converges onto Indecision, and that might just be Baron.
Watch the fights, though.
Yeah, we've got stopwatches on both the carriers of Nord. They know this is a big fight.
Oh no! Omen's in danger, pots the stopwatch immediately. Hido comes in, trying to get some damage on. Omen flashes away. There's the ultimate from Hido. This time, he is free to play the fight! What an ultimate from Kakos! Hido just plays tidy up. Snubby goes down, and Domino go down like dominoes. Nord, what a beautiful fight!
Love the unstoppable force into 4 members there against Domino. Nord, it looked like they were the ones getting caught out, right? Indecision was the first man to fall. Oman almost followed as well, but that stopwatch just bought just a little bit of time for the rest of his team to come in, and really, really good answer here for Nord.
Yeah. Crucially, we've been highlighting the entire game long is that the chain CC and the engage has to come down onto Hido. Hido is playing the champion that's probably the best cleanup champion in the game, right? He doesn't have the ghost to make it even better, but still, if he is untouched, if he has no threats left, he can just press R and clean up an entire fight 1 versus 5. And they managed to find the engage. Yes, Domino managed to find the engage, but it wasn't onto Hido. In the end, he does exactly that.
I think that's the crucial weakness of the Domino team, isn't it? It's very single target heavy. Like, Spuda isolates one person. Snubby and Perez, their ultimate lands onto one person, and they want to layer that up to make sure one of the carries goes down. This time, they used it onto Omen, and we were saying, yes, Hido is getting taken out a lot of these fights, but he's still finding the gold. He's still getting a lot of gold injected into him. So then, yeah, they take out Omen, who was the Fed member and the scarier member at that particular time, but Hido just shows up fully geared up and ready to take that fight himself, and it's an easy tidy up because there's no threat, there's no Nautilus ult, there's no Vi ult, there's no Spuda ult, and it was easy breezy.
Oh man. Now, more posturing around bot side. You see Clover on his best life, doing everything he always does.
Whoa,
now probably going to move
gold.
down into the river. Yeah, it's a lot of gold, isn't it? The tier 2 towers are not okay. Still, split pushing isn't good enough. We probably need to up it to 1k. Nice flanks from Snabby right here. They potentially look for something. If they can find Hido off the back of it, Nord don't know where they are.
No, it does look like Domino have the inside track on this dragon. Going to start it up. Remember, this is Nord's soul if they can get it. Quick look at the ults. Everybody has their ults up and available. Indecision trying to get in. Paris may have to get off this dragon, but he wants to keep it activated. Seneca, very low HP. Kakos just tanking on that front line. There's the twisted advance forward. They're jumping onto Paris. They're going to try and look to get him down. Throws the ultimate onto Omen, but Omen able to finish that one up. Easy pickup. There's the double kill. On to the side of Hido. He's looking for Spuda next up. He gets a 3-man bot back, but he is finished up as Omen launches over the wall, takes to the skies. Unstoppable force from Kakos means Omen survives, and that is soul for Omen.
And you could see they were so conscious of the fact that Malphite could ult them if they stacked that they spread apart really far. There was no way for Malphite to secure any kind of multi-man ultimate, but in the end what that means is when they try to engage, when Perez tries to engage onto Hido, everyone's so spread apart there's no one to follow up. Right, so you're just going in and Paris and you get one shot. There's no follow-up for the chain CC, which we keep going and looting back to, and the fight is lost. There's no throw onto Hido, and everyone in the end, they just get cleaned up.
And that could just be the team fight that sends Nord into the playoffs here. As a reminder, the winner of this game, huge implications for that last playoff spot. Both these teams are still fighting for it. If Nord win this game, they are in. Domino need to win this to force a tiebreaker to keep their playoff dreams alive. Nord
I want to
so
play
far.
a quick game. How much health is that tower on top side? Make guess, and then I'll get the observer to go over.
8 HP.
8 HP?
At least one.
All right. Well,
least.
Obviously. You're such a top laner, aren't you? You can't even count. Hey, observer, if this fight doesn't break out, which it looks like it's not going to, can you quickly go check the health of the top lane tower for me? Thank you. Let's see.
Can you click it?
I
so
knew
we
it all
see?
along.
14.
14.
Ah.
14.
I was closer, to be fair, but Aragon.
Yeah, you
technically
actually
was
were.
right. It is at least one. 14.
I'll give you the point. I'll give you the point, Foxy.
Thank you,
on
friend.
I said Foxy. Can't hear. What are you here for, man?
To talk, and there's going to be a fight right here, I imagine. Come on, I want to see a banger siege. Look at that Mountain Soul. Look at those shields. The poke from Blink doesn't even stick anymore. There's no poke win condition for the AP Kai'Sa. Now slow stack this wave here. Not going to immediately kill it to maybe try and synergize the mid and bot lane. The ult's coming out. Let's see what happens.
Clover just lost all his health, so that's just going to be a zoning one. Indecision jumps in onto Spooder. The inhibitor should just be laid forfeit. Meanwhile, Nord now turn their attention towards this mid lane tower. They got a wave here. This could be 2 inhibs for Nord. Domino, I don't even know if they have the option to fight this one. They are getting the health back off the Clover. Spooder has to jump away. Isn't going to land the knockback, and that's going to be 2 inhibs to Nord. No contest really from Domino, as their base is in shambles now.
It just gets harder and harder for these guys to try and find this win now. Domino hanging on by a thread. So are their playoff dreams. This Maokai is looking pretty indestructible, about to complete his 3rd item, when the only magic damage threat on the opposing side is a Kai'Sa. It's a little bit underfed. More importantly, you've got that Mountain Soul as well to block away any of the poke. It's just going to be so
Don't
difficult.
look Zeri items. Don't look Zeri items when you have to.
Yeah, it's so doomed. She's just so strong. 700 shutdown as well. I mean, at least that's the plus side, right? Like, you have a team that can isolate Zeri, and you know, in theory, can maybe shut her down and catch her. But between that Guardian Angel and the fact that, you know, she's got shield bow as well, and her team will be bailing her out, it's so much easier said than done. I mean, I guess something, but it's just so difficult here.
Well, but they are on a timer. That zoning ultimate is coming through. Let's see how they engage here and play it.
Well, it looks like this is just going to be Dunzo immediately. Nord able to find himself that rampage. Quick kill onto Perez, able to finish him up. Snarby being zoned away by Hiddo. Seneca tries to jump in, tries to find that opening, that opportunity. Hiddo getting the damage down. Spooder jumps away to safety. Seneca keeping the damage up, as it looks like Hiddo is going a little bit low here thanks to Blink, but has that Guardian Angel, so he feels comfortable. In jumps the rest of the team, trying to defend the scraps, the remnant of this game. Nord, with blinking health bars, are looking to put the final seal in Domino's coffin to finalize this game. Hiddo is holding his life, but that might just have been the defense there from Domino. The Nexus will stand. Clover just about survives. And it was a solid hold from Domino, but I don't know how much longer they can hold for.
Yeah, look at that ward though, right? There's a ward at the entrance of the base. There's potential for like a TP back door here. I wouldn't be surprised to see one come out. Omen has the teleport. Realistically, it's probably not going to happen, but Baron is definitely on the cards here for Domino as the death timers are there.
Who got that shutdown onto Hiddo? It was Kai'Sa. She's loving it right now. If you wanted one champion on your team, if you're Domino, to forge this comeback and build around, it's got to be that Kai'Sa. And giving her that 1,000 gold for killing Hiddo. It's a good way to start. I don't think Nord want to give this one up, and they might be able to contest.
Oh, Kakos, he's straight in. He can't steal it away, but Nord are going to take the fight. Seneca flashes over, gets himself a knock-up. Beautiful charm onto the back line. Down goes Blink. Omen got the Guardian Angel, got the power to take this fight. TPing out by Spooder, but he can't even make it. Triple kill for Omen. The twisted advance will chase him down, and this will be the quadra kill. Bop goes Spooder. Omen with the unofficial quadra, flattening all of Domino. They got Baron, but at what cost? It's going to be at a cost in the playoffs. Nord have done it. They have qualified for playoffs as the final team.
Welcome to the playoffs, Nord. 2 splits in a row after the shake-up in their roster from spring over to summer. Still managing to find that spot. The last spot here that we had available in NLC summer. Commiserations to Domino, though. They put up a good fight yesterday. A good fight here today as well, but it wasn't just quite enough, and Nord well deserved there to claim that last spot.
Yeah, and also safe to say Domino did not get off to the best of starts, right? Like Clover accidentally taking a tower shot and gifting a kill to Omen on a very aggressive play like that. That's also like a very bad way to kind of start off such an important game, Aragon.
Yeah, and looking at the start as well to branch on from that. the Rift Herald fight with a pre-6 Nautilus and a no-ult Vi is just a very questionable run, right? They desperately wanted to contest every neutral objective when they just couldn't, right? You need your Vi ultimate, and yes, it's been nerfed by 20-second cooldown, but you have no power budget left if you've used that, and it didn't pay off. They tried to ult and pick off Malphite at the top lane, I believe, but Malphite just trades ultimates, and then they contest anyway, and I believe Snabby gets caught, and it's just all downhill from there. There's the German flies back again. Still. After that, I think it's just all down there, and you get 4 dragons on the side of Nord, Mountain Soul as well. When you're playing against a burst composition, it's just really hard.
Yeah, it's kind of let's kind of stick with the whole objective contest situation now, because Kakar's like massive Malphite ulti on that Baron contest. Oof. That was so juicy, and I felt like the nail in the coffin for the entirety of the game. Foxtrot.
Dude, look. You're playing. You're a League of Legends player, right? You come into this world. You come with nothing. You build yourself up from embryo to human being. Okay, and you turn into professional video gamer. Okay, and then you get into League of Legends. You get into your League of Legends professional team. Okay, you're here. You're fighting for your playoff spot, and your teammate says to you, "Play Malphite." And suddenly you think, what am I doing? What's going on? I hate everything. I hate the world. But you live for that one moment around the Baron pit where there are 4 bad guy health bars all grouped up together, and you get to slap down that unstoppable force. And for a moment, it makes playing Malphite worth it. If he was full AP, it would be even better. But he didn't. He's a coward. But he won, so it's fine. And that's the point, beautiful. Right? That's the point. Those are the moments Malphites live for, and I'm just very happy that Catchcross got to experience it this game.
Man, it's kind of crazy, but the most poetic thing you'll ever say is about Malphite now. Like, you'll never top that. That's it.
Mate, I'm full of it, mate. Just you wait. Wait till someone picks.
Let's crank jungle. Then Foxtrot was gonna drop the entire. Like, he's gonna go full on Drake and drop the entire poetry book. You know, like.
You know it, mate.
So and honestly, I think hats off to Nord, if we're going to be honest. Like, these guys played really, really well. It's been a bit of a run. Domino, I know Aragon has been huffing the copium for Domino the entire split. And to be fair, I was with him on a lot of that. I can't just completely dump on Aragon for this one. I think honestly, Domino showed us a lot of potential this split, especially versus Verdant yesterday. It felt like it was finally paying off, but this game just didn't even feel close. And the crazy thing is, this is the same team that challenged Verdant yesterday. Then again, Verdant did lose the 4th wall, so maybe they're not as strong as we've been saying they are. But I do think Nord just looked far and above Domino in this game, and they look like they're worthy of that spot. Now we have our top 4 teams. I am not sure how to rank them anymore. I really don't know how to rank them, because you think about it. Verdant looked challenged by Domino. They lost the 4th wall. Natives lost to Unique. Obviously, Natives are playing Ruddy later today. I think Ruddy, I'm still unsure. I'm really unsure on where I actually rank Ruddy in this top 4. And now that we have Nord up in the top 4 as well, I think it's actually probably the hardest I've ever had to call. I genuinely, if you ask me for like a prediction on top 4 right now, I don't think I could give you a solid answer. I really don't know. I think any one of these teams looks good enough in their current state, or in some cases maybe weak enough to not be that top spot. It's really anybody's. It's really anybody's playoffs. I'm very excited for it, because this is the first time where I don't have a very clear cut on who I think is going to be at the top.
I think it's really difficult, right? Because the top teams just lost to bottom 2 teams, and Nord looked decent. Before we keep going with that, though, I have to say we're a bit controversial when it comes to who got MVP. I saw you said Omen, and I have no idea why, so I want to know, Foxy, what do you vote for MVP for that game?
For that game, oh my goodness, yeah, that's a tough one.
It could be, I'm going Catchcross or Hiddo, right? Because I'm Malphite, and also Hiddo played well.
That's exactly where I'm landing as well. I might honestly, as much as it's painful to give a top laner MVP again, 2 out of 3, I think, honestly, Catchcross, yeah.
Yep, I'm down. Good Malphite, mate. Good Malphite. Very well played.
Yeah, and one of the people that kind of benefited from that Malphite ultimate was Omen in the mid lane. So let's get him on the line. Okay,
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just taken aback by the fact that we've had people wear no shirts today, and you come in dressed up with 3 pairs of sunglasses. Can you tell me, what is the purpose of each pair of sunglasses?
There are certain lights that get blocked by each pair of the sunglasses, but now the ones that I'm wearing are the most useful at this moment.
Awesome. So, talking about the situation, generally speaking, overall for your team now. Yesterday, you guys looked a little bit shaky. Today, you looked much more in control. Did you guys have a nice chat with your coaches yesterday after the shaky game?
Yeah, like Malau told me that if I performed the same way I did yesterday, that he would dox me on Twitter.com, and I had to step up, you know, even though my gameplay wasn't the best. You know, we pulled through.
You pulled through with a strong gameplay here. So overall, like, this game felt like there were a lot of like really weird like action going on. Like your indecision gets picked, and all of a sudden Kashka just finds like a 4-man Malphite ultimate, and you guys just like take the Baron. Like, how did that moment like feel for you?
Don't remember. I think Christian indecision was probably just like watching Valorant on his second stream. That's why he got caught. And then they went on me. I was mispositioned, but then Miguel Hido just went in, and I saw the Malphite for my ult, and I started screaming Bomba. So yeah.
Awesome. I will let you go now, Oman. Chat to you next. Best of luck next week as well. Congratulations on playoffs.
Thank you.
And with that, we're going to go over to the top lane on the opposite side of the field here from the Domino side of things with an interview with Spuda. Hello, Spuda.
Hello.
I don't know if you saw the dress up that Oman was wearing, but he's contesting you for best dressed man in the NLC. What's your take on that?
I mean, he had too many glasses on, man. I don't think I have any glasses. I think he wins this time. You know, next time I'll show up with full glasses to beat him.
Yeah. So overall, though, your season ends here. No playoffs for you. You guys were with an outside chance of getting playoffs. Had you won today, you would have to take them down on Friday as well. So, what are your first impressions? Are you disappointed? Are you satisfied with how your team's been performing all season? What are we feeling like?
I think it's hard to put it into words, but I think like over the course of the first games until now, I think our improvement started a bit late. You know, like the first games we showed off a good like playing. You know, we were like consistent and stuff, and then we dropped and other teams were improving, and I think we just didn't improve with them, you know. And then I think this, like yesterday, was a good showing, and I think we've had sometimes have a good week, sometimes a bad week, and I think that's what has been the issue, where we haven't been completely consistent, you know, and that's why sometimes you see us going high and sometimes slow. So we just simply weren't consistent enough. But I think if we managed to get consistent enough, I think we could be for sure a top 3 team, maybe even a top 2 team.
Okay, that sounds like you guys are confident in your team overall here. I'd love to hear that. And as the great Jose Mourinho sometimes, it wasn't Jose Mourinho, never mind. I said sometimes it'd be good, sometimes that's Gennaro Gattuso. But
Yeah,
great poet, Gennaro Gattuso, actually. But what are you? Are you like? I mean, you got to play Olaf a couple of times this season. Were you hoping to play some more Olaf?
Once.
Yeah.
I really like playing Olaf, you know, it's very fun. I stopped, you know, it's like I was just kind of expecting him to be banned all the time, you know, and it's sad that it happens often, but the time I did get him, I think it was a fun game. But I'm also happy that, you know, I got to play Cassandra a lot of games, because I think this champ is like really what I fit into. But I wish with next patch there will be some more interesting picks that I would really like.
I have a very important question from Aragon, you know, the top lane expert of the NLC. He's asking you, are you going to get rank 1 next split, and are you going to get rank 1 NLC next split?
I'm going to get rank 1. First of all, I'm going to like go, it's not done for me now, I'm going to go grind the shit out of solo queue, get rank 1 there. Doesn't matter when, doesn't matter if it's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4, I don't care, but I'm getting it at some point, you know? Some point I'm getting rank 1, it's done. Rank 1 NLC? Maybe, you know?
The Magic Felix arc.
For me.
Unlock. Thank you so
Exactly.
much for your time, Sputter. I'm sorry that you had to lose your
Thank you.
contest for best dressed man in the NLC as well. Final day of the regular season. That also got to suck to a certain extent. But thank you so much for your time, and well, talk to
Thank
you
you.
at some point soon, hopefully.
Yes, bye.
And with that, we're gonna go to a short break. When we come back, the final game of the regular season of the NLC will commence as Ruddy takes on Natives. Don't go anywhere.